Welcome to the second episode of the Row Racing Podcast. I'm your host, Lucas Sipka, and we have a lot to cover over the course of this week, so let's get right into it. Omfra is becoming a full-time dirt series now. It is going to be racing under one game instead of multiple different racetracks in one, or sorry, like separate racetracks, I should say. New racing systems have been announced, the testing game has been released. Speaking of Omfra, there's actually been a lot of weird stuff going on in the server. The Discord icon has weirdly been like changing its color. It's just been kind of getting darker and darker. It'll probably, if I had to guess, morph into the new logo for Dirt International Racing Tour, which is the new variation of Omfra. I guess you could say the new name for Ofra. Next up tonight, we have driver lineup changes, and actually, there's quite a bit going on regarding drivers. So, Stunna Boy, Purple Loon Alert, and Joey Robinson, Stunna Boy and Purple are the same people. Those two are going to Cheerwine Motorsports for the King of the Wing event. Cheerwine has been kind of trying to rebuild its reputation. They got rid of Austin Furman, so we'll see if they can kind of damage or like kind of bandage the wounds that they've gotten throughout the past few months. Lucas Sipka is going to the Rocky Coast Race Cars for the Chili Bowl. Uh, it's going to be interesting to see what he does with that new team, simply because he's never ran with those guys before. He doesn't. The chemistry might be a little bit odd for him, but we're just going to have to find out and see what he does. Darkness Shade is going to Tempest Motorsports full time in the Outlaw Karts. He'll be running the number 63 Victory Lane karting car. GTM, George Tussle Motorsports, is fielding a whopping 12 cars at the Chili Bowl, which is borderline insane. It's going to be interesting to see if they could get all 12 cars filled. I think they can do it just because, they got connections, so to speak. They got the people. They know the George himself. He knows quite a bit of people. It's kind of like the Keith Coons, if you will. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's exactly what he kind of wants to be viewed by. For the Love of Dirt wrapped up tonight. This was a one-day show. I think it just went over just over 2.5 hours, maybe a little bit more. Qualifying was marked by Trevor Michaelesco nabbing the pole with a 6.414. Second went to Lucas Sipka, and third to Robbie Ballou, not the sprint car driver. Heats were won by Trevor Michaelesco, Lucas Sipka, Austin Mitchell, Mindraft, Colin Shane, and Anthony Woodhull. 6 heat races. The winners went to the A main, and for a while it kind of got a little bit scrappy closer to the end once the track got a little bit slicker. Seemed like drivers were just kind of finding the grip, but it wasn't really able. They weren't really able to make anything happen until late in the lower mains, especially in the A main. That's when the track kind of seemed to get really good. I actually talked to Minddraft after his heat after he won, and he actually said he'd planned to run Aska tonight, but he actually didn't qualify into the field. Uh, he made it into the feature though. He was just kind of rolling the top throughout his heat race, which is very impressive for what he said is just his third race in a midget car. Over the course of the entire night, 7 cars exited the speedway via going over the wall. I believe the last one was Mindraft in the feature. Don't remember exactly who went over, but I know Mindraft went over and Anthony Woodhull went over. I think they were both in the feature. Two of them, the first two were actually in a C main, which is kind of insane. B main transfers included Ryan Wilson out of B main number 1 and Darkness Shade out of B main number 2. And the A main was actually won by Austin Mitchell after a fierce battle with Trevor Michaelesco and Lucas Sipka. Kind of hung low. He had to come through the rear of the field a little bit, but he ended up getting the job done after a photo finish coming to the line with Trevor Michaelesco. Moving on, the Indoor Auto Racing Championship at New York State Fair was won by racer Ethan78, but Lemon Bucket 45 actually got the title. Kind of a dark horse for me. I didn't really expect him to be the guy that would go and get the W, but I mean, obviously in the title, not the race, because he didn't win. Uh, Not really someone I expected, like I said. The SLCORA schedules are predicted to be announced in the coming weeks. They are speculated to be very, very different than previous seasons. with a lot of different style racetracks going on the schedule, big, small. It's going to be a little bit interesting to see kind of what they cook up. The Castrol Trophy Truck the Castrol Trophy Truck Series chase race number one was on Friday, and it was actually won by Cole Berna. Optima Batteries Pro Buggy Series will be off until the 17th when their playoffs start. Microsprint Racing Tour team applications have started to come to a close, and the game is actually showing a lot of major updates. Lemoore Speedway was actually just released today, and that'll be on the schedule for the first season of MSRT's return. A little bit of an oddball thing here. We've got a Outlaw Kart driver, Lemon Bucket 45. I mean, obviously he runs a little bit more than Outlaw Karts now, but I would say he's still pretty much known for his Outlaw Kart stuff. He's actually starting up a paintball league, modeled after, I believe it's a league he played in real life not too long ago. Braden Hamrick, what a story. He goes 5 in a row in the Ohm for Late Model Tour, picked up his fifth win at the Milwaukee Mile, but unfortunately for Hamrick, he is unable to make it to, being mathematically in the hunt for the title. So I believe Ryan Wilson actually locked up the title for the Ohm for Late Model Tour. Next up, we got some track updates. The Pepsi Max Center is under renovation big time for some possible Outlaw Kart shows in the future. I think Slora might be going there, and the rumors going out that USOKT might be doing something there in the future. So stay tuned for that. Yorkshire Speedway tryouts began this week. We have two divisions confirmed, as well as a season opener for the main division, which I believe will be super late models, and that'll be on March 10th. A little bit of controversy going on this weekend. Drew Walker, I'm Drew for you, ordered Domino's to the host of Rark's house, and the league was put on hold until tonight on Saturday. They ran, I believe, Arca and Trucks. What a mad lad. Speaking of Drew Walker, his series, the Sunoco Racing Series, he teased a little bit of a revive possible for this year, and he's being held basically against his will with me putting it on here. I told him that if I have to put it on here, if I put it on here, he's you got to commit to it. So expect to see the Sunoco Racing Series start up in the coming weeks. The All-Star Quarter Midget Association is holding an exhibition race at the Bankers Life Fieldhouse, which is the same racetrack that the blah, blah, Indy Invitational took place at in 2015, and in terms of road racing, I believe it was taking place in 2020. The United States Sprint Championship is starting within the next 2 weeks, and they are planning on paying 300 Robux to win each event. So the United States Sprint Championship is a little bit different than anything else on this series or on this show. It's actually A chassis non-collide racing, so kind of like a glorified time trial, but the Castrol Trophy Truck Series is the similar, but it's just regular tank chassis and road courses. Random Boy, the co-owner of DNR Dirt, suffered a Discord hack. I'm not too sure. I haven't gotten a whole lot of word on if he's gotten his account back or anything, but he has suspended the sales of his items. So we'll have to see if he gets everything back. The Highbanks Hustle Track was opened up today. Should be ready to go for June. So quite a little ways away as we are still in February. So I don't know exactly when registration will open, but if you want to go turn laps, the Highbanks Hustle 3, sorry, not Highbanks Hustle 2, Highbanks Hustle 3 track is ready to go at the Southern Illinois Raceway. Lastly, up on our show tonight, the SLC X-Spec series was actually canceled for this year due to underdeveloped cars. They're not quite ready to go yet. So development will be continuing shortly. I believe I haven't got a whole lot of updates just because it's just kind of been announced that they aren't going to be racing. I'm not sure all the nitty-gritty details. But alas, that is it for tonight's show. I hope you all enjoyed, and we will see you all next week.